Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector's Edition. I still think it's so funny how they call them McFarlane Collector's Edition. Like, we know. Whatever. This is the Batman, and I'll read it. It's Batman Battle Damage Blue, The Dark Knight Returns version. Battle Damage Blue. I guess there's more coming. This is basically just a repaint. New accessories, new paint job. I'm going to do a quick review so you guys can see what it's like if you want to track it down. But there's not a whole lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I'll show you my package. It's the Collector's Edition version, which means it has the chrome on it, which I do like. I think their packaging is very nice overall. It's a good, basic package that looks good. Big artwork on the back for the Collector's Editions. So if you like that, there you go. And otherwise, it's pretty basic. Light window on the top, though. If you want to keep him in the package, he'll look pretty good. Alright, moving on to the figure. I don't know if this guy is sold out or not at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll put a link in the description below just in case you decide to get one. I think it might be sold out though. He stands roughly about 7 inches. We'll say 7 inches, not counting his little tiny ears. And that's going to make him about 18 centimeters. Here he is up against Darwin. And here he is up against another Batman that's pretty short. He's just a touch taller. Okay, so this guy, repaint. Question of the day, do you like the blue and gray? I love it. That's why I got this. This combo of blue and gray, I could do without the yellow belt, that being that lemony. But still, it is, I love this combo of blue and gray and yellow and black. Like, it's my favorite. I understand there's a chase version of this guy that's not battle damaged. However, I'm pretty sure if this guy's like the previous releases, you can just clean that paint off, and then you don't have the battle damage anymore. That's my hunch. So if you're so inclined to not chase down a chase version of something that shouldn't be a chase, you can easily clean this guy up. But yeah, I love the blue they chose. I think it looks great with the lighter gray, the big black logo, and then the battle damage is whatever. So let's go ahead and talk about that up close. There's no paintwork on this guy other than what I'm about to show you. The battle damage is definitely questionable. It looks like the Nightfall Batman. As far as painted on battle damage goes, it's fine. From a distance, it'll look okay. If you get up close, it looks like butts. But as far as painted battle damage goes, it's okay. He's very tan, by the way. His skin tone, he has been tanning. Looks like George Hamilton underneath here. The face is painted surprisingly well, though the skin tone is different than the battle damage skin tone. But the face does look really nice. There's shading in the actual flesh tones. Maybe the teeth are showing a little bit too much, but I like the shading around the eyes and the more comic-y style shading with the black and then the light blue going up the cowl. I think it looks really good. And then there's a little bit of dry brush shading on this part of the cowl, but only, or I guess it's really just the cape, only at the top. But yeah, I think that shading, the shading with the blue is what sold me on this. This part right here looked so good to me, despite the fact that I really don't like the way they did the body mold. For those of you that keep wanting to argue, oh, it looks just like the comics. No, it doesn't, because the guy who drew it knows anatomy, and nobody's pecs are at the same height as the shoulders. It's just weird. It's close, and it's stylized, but it's still really weird. Also, his legs are quite long, anyway, it's the same stuff I said before. It's not perfect. You can kind of pose it away, but the paint job for me makes up for it. I love the paint job on this. I don't like the shiny blue cape, but it's all about the paint job. Let me know what you guys think. As far as new paint jobs go, not counting the battle damage, 9 out of 10, including the battle damage, like 6. But if you don't get too close, it looks okay. So I get what they were going for. I'm alright with it as a collector, as a reviewer. It is what it is. You know what you're buying as you get into it. It's not like they screwed it up. They just didn't make it good. And I've told you that. So if that bothers you, don't buy it. Okay, now as far as accessories go, these are new things. We do have 2 fist hands, 2 gripping hands, and clenchy style hand, and then a hand holding batarangs. Pretty sure those should be black, so that kind of blows. Unless I'm wrong, maybe they're blue in the comic, and I just didn't know that, but I'm guessing not. We do have the alternate head, which is unmasked, and other than the eyes being a little wonky, it's actually pretty darn good. I think they did a good job there, so I like that. You do get his batarang with, like his grappling batarang, so that's okay. Get a big lamp post. I don't know if anybody needed that. Did you guys need that? I didn't need that. It's alright, I guess. You get a DC display stand and a collector's edition card, which is good enough. So I'll go 7 out of 10 for accessories. Not bad, not good. Okay, and then for articulation, I guess I'll run it real quick. It's been a while since we reviewed the original one. Should we have it there or there? We'll do it here. I guess I'll just run it, okay? If you want to see the original review, go up there or in the description below, but I'll do it. So ball pegs in the neck. It's still pretty limited due to his chunky neck and head, but it works pretty well, and ball pegs are a good option, so that's all right. The shoulders do move around on the ball peg. It's very stiff, and it's easy to have the shoulders even lower than they already are, but if you crank them all the way up to the top, it can look better. It does raise the shoulders up a little bit to make him look like he has human anatomy, where the shoulders are above the pecs, so that's a good thing. You do get a little bit of play out of them, but not too much. The cape does droop over the shoulder quite a bit, so raising the arms will be a problem, but I think it'll be good enough. No bicep swivel here, single jointed elbow. Lame, but functional enough. Not the best looking thing, but you do get that, and that's where you're going to get your bicep swivel. Ball hinge wrists are fine. I can't get my torso joint to move on this guy really at all, so be aware of that. The lower torso joint is a ball peg. You get some play out of it, and rotation. So if you can get yours free, you'll have better posability here. For the hips, they go out to the side pretty far despite being limited by the diaper. Going forward, not so far, that kicks them out to the side. You can force it, I don't recommend it. So pretty limited range there. Going back a little bit, not too much. Thigh swivel is fine. I'm getting a lot of blue transfer on here, hoping that they didn't paint this gray and that it's gray plastic. If that's the case, you can clean off the blue transfer pretty easily. Double jointed knee is pretty functional, not great, but good enough. And then you have ball hinge ankles that work well, though they are overly ratcheted, as is usually the case. Super functional, but ratcheted to heck, so be aware of that. Toe hinge, well placed. Not the best sculpt, but pretty decent. So articulation is fine. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It'll do. It's nothing impressive. It's somewhat limited, but for a chunky fat Batman, I think it's okay. And if you really crank those shoulders up as high as you can, it does help the aesthetic a lot. All right, so be aware of that. That definitely helps. All right, now before we do a final rating, we have to do a cake rating because I believe the original release of this is one of the reasons why we started the cake rating, guys. And if you haven't seen that, you are in for a treat. This is how they sculpted his butt. It is pure crackage. There is a cavern. It is a cavernous crevasse. It is humongous butt crack right there, straight up to the back too. Like it doesn't even taper. It is just from taint to back butt crack. So, and then there's cheeks too. The cheeks don't stick out that far other than the fact that the crack is so deep. So I don't really know how to rate it. I'm going to give him an 8 though. Just because I feel bad for him with that much crack that goes so high up on his back. It's got to be discomfort. There has to be some discomfort. Can I speak English anymore? So there you go. There's one of the reasons why we do the cake review. All right, time for a final verdict on this guy. Personally, as a collector, I love it. I love the blue shading on the head. I love the color blue they chose for the plastic. I love the gray and yellow. The whole thing, I love it. I could definitely do without the battle damage, but also I kind of like it. It suits the character for that particular scene. And if you don't like it, you can clean it off. And if you don't look too close, the paint job isn't too bad. Like it looks like battle damage. So I will take it. Is it as good as I want it to be? No. But is it good enough? Yes. That's all as a collector. As a reviewer, I agree. It's not what it should be in every way, but I think it's good enough for what they were aiming. So aiming at. For what they were aiming for what at. Yeah, English. It's good enough. So I'm going to give him an overall rating of 7. There are lots of problems with this guy, but I think the things that are good about it make up for them, that if you are into those things, you will like this a lot. If you aren't into those things, it's not that good. It really comes down to personal preference. It's fine, but the rest is up to you. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm going to be very happy with it personally. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.